Hi everybody, and welcome back to the C8Inspect video presentation. My name is Dirk Leroy. I am with UCAMCO in Ghent, Belgium. This is part 2 of the C8Inspect presentation, and in this part 2, I will be showing how you can invite other people, your contacts, how you can invite them to come on to the C8Inspect platform and have a look at the data that you made available to them. Now, as you may remember from the first video that we did, we left it more or less in the state where I had this little job here, which I had uploaded to the C8Inspect platform. And as a result of this, the icon here in the C8 column, the first column in the cockpit, that had turned from gray into red, meaning that this data was uploaded successfully to the C8Inspect. Now, at the time that we uploaded this data, we didn't really care about notifying anybody as to the availability of this job. And that's exactly what we will be doing next. We will now have to notify the original sender, for instance, of the archive that his data has been read in, analyzed by Integr8tor, and that the results are now available for review on C8Inspect if he wants to. So in order to do so, what I will do, me being Dirk Leroy at PCB-FAB Limited, I will click on the icon again, which will log me on to the C8Inspect cloud service and bring me to the job. But rather than being in the job area, I'm more interested at this point in this part here in the top left-hand corner, where you see these 3 horizontal bars that will slide out a sort of submenu with a number of items. And the item that I'm interested in for the moment is the second one here, which is called Contacts. Now, when I click this, this will take me to my current list of contacts. And as you can see, for the moment, this list is empty. I have not created any contacts yet. Contacts basically are partners that you want to invite to come on to the C8Inspect platform to have a look at data or analysis results. Okay, at this point, it's important that you understand that these contacts that we will be creating, they are really created within the cloud service itself, so on the C8Inspect platform. So your contacts do not reside on your Integr8tor server machine or on the machine that you were using to run Cockpit on and to upload the job. No. C8Inspect contacts are basically created and managed within the application C8Inspect itself, so in the cloud. What does it take to add a contact? Well, it's pretty straightforward and very simple, actually. We go to the Add Contact button here, and again, just like in the first video, I am asked to enter a number of pieces of information, the most important one of which is going to be the email address of the contact that I'm about to create. Now, for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm using my contact John Doe, working at 5-Star Electronics, and John is reachable on the email address doe9000833 at gmail.com. Next, I enter John's full name, John Doe, and I can also add the company he's working for, 5-Star Electronics. That's right. When I say add contact, you see that the slider bar here at the bottom says that everything is okay. Contact has been added, so that can go away again. And in my contact list, you will now see one contact, be it that he's not fully there yet, as you will see the information about this contact. So this whole line, apart from this column here, the whole line is in gray, which means that for the moment, this account is waiting to be validated. So this contact that I have just created, I just cannot create this out of myself and start sending emails to John. What John will have to do first is that he will come onto the C8Inspect platform himself as well and validate the account that I have been partially creating for him by adding his email address and his name and his company details to the C8Inspect service. So that's all that needs to be done from the Dirk Leroy at PCB Fab point of view, let's say. What happens now on the other side? What happens at John Doe? Now, to verify this, what I will do is I will pretend just for a brief moment that I am John Doe, and we will be checking John's inbox on his Gmail account, the Gmail account that was used here in the creation of John as a contact. So I'm moving to 5-Star Electronics now, and I become John Doe for a brief moment. What I will do is I will log myself in as Doe 900833 with the password that I have for this Gmail account. That's it. That's us. That's Joe. And if I go to my Gmail, it says that I have now been invited to join the C8Inspect platform. It says, the email says, hello, Dirk Leroy from PCB Fab Limited invited you to join the C8Inspect platform so you can check your PCB on our cloud platform. Please accept this invitation to start. That is what John has to do. It's basically all that John has to do. He clicks the link, accept invitation, and that will actually bring him onto a very similar screen onto the C8Inspect platform. He will have, or he will see the email address that I, Dirk Leroy from PC Fab Limited, used to add him as a contact, the company details that I have entered for him, and his full name. And really, if John is happy with all of this, the only thing that remains to be done by Joe is that he will now enter a password himself, which will have to comply with the same rules as we saw in the first video. What was it? One uppercase, at least one lowercase, one digit, and another symbol. So once he has done that, and he clicks the register button, the system comes back telling John that his registration is complete and that he will receive an email in his inbox again to confirm his account. That's fine. Let's see if that has happened. We still have, so I'm now moving again. I become, or I still am John Doe. And I'm now going back to my inbox, the inbox where I previously had the message that I was invited to the C8Inspect platform. That same mailbox now has a second email. And if I click on it, it says, welcome to C8Inspect. Thank you for signing up. Please click the link below to complete your registration. So when John goes here and clicks confirm my account, that's basically it. John's account has now been confirmed. And as of now, he's a full-blown and registered contact in the C8Inspect database. That's cool. We can get out here and we can get out of the mailboxes again. And really, we can get out here as well. And as John has now become a valid member or a registered member of the C8Inspect database, let's see what that does to me. Me in this case now again is Dirk Leroy at PCB FAP Limited. A couple of minutes ago, I added John as a contact, or I invited him at least as a contact. And since John has now validated the account that I have created for him, I should, when I go back to my list of contacts, I should now see John in a slightly different color. And indeed, yes, John is now no longer in gray. His name and the other information is shown in black now, which means that John is now a fully registered contact on the C8Inspect service, and he's available for me to start addressing emails to him, which is what we will be doing next. I had this job uploaded from the first video. I have now created a contact. The last thing that we do is link the two together. So as Dirk Leroy from PCB FAP Limited, I would now be able to go to the jobs, which will show me all the jobs that I have uploaded so far onto the C8Inspect server. And at the far end here on the right-hand side, I have this item, which when I click it, it has an option to modify the contacts. The contacts for the moment, the contact list is still empty. And if I go to modify contacts, what that will do is it will give me the list of all my currently available contacts. And by just ticking one or several of these tick boxes in front of the contact's name, I can actually assign a person or several persons, a contact, several contacts to this particular job. Now, once that I have done this and I modify the job, basically two things will happen. Again, there is the confirmation that everything went the way it was supposed to go. We close this one. And in the column with the contacts, I now see John Doe's name appearing. And that basically means that by now, John should have received an email again, which will be the email containing the link to his job on C8Inspect platform. Now, just for the fun of it, let's sign out here. So us, in this case, is Dirk Leroy at PC FAP. And let's check again what has happened in the meantime in John Doe's mailbox. I'm still logged on as John Doe, so that's good. And if I go back to my Gmail account, there is now email number 3 that has come in. And if I click that one, this email will now contain a concrete link to the job with some further details and information as to who uploaded this. What my reference was, that your reference here, the first part, is basically the name of John Doe's archive, the zip file that he sent to Dirk Leroy at PCB FAP Limited. So that one will be used, that name will be used to make sure that the item becomes recognizable from here as well. The second item here in the our reference bit is basically the job ID on Integr8tor, by which Dirk Leroy at PCB FAP Limited will recognize this data set. So within this mail, we have the two parts of the information that should allow John Doe to identify what this is about, as well as later on, if the two people talk on the phone, for instance, that will also allow Dirk Leroy at PCB FAP Limited to identify what this is about. But really all John is invited and interested to do at this point is to just click on this link. And of course, John is not using an Integr8tor cockpit or anything that has registered and embedded his credentials. So before John gets to see the data, his job, he is asked to enter his valid account information again, which was do900-833@gmail.com with the password that John chose to use. And there we go. If I go back to the 3 horizontal bars now, I will see that I have now logged on to the C8Inspect platform as John Doe from 5-Star Electronics. And in the list of jobs, I would now see the one job that a person has uploaded for my attention. Now that person is Dirk Leroy from PCB Fab Limited. So if John would have sent the same data set to a number of other manufacturers asking for a quotation, these other manufacturers, if they were using Integr8tor and Cockpit, the latest features, these other manufacturers could also have sent an invitation or a job link to John to review the data. Yeah. So this was where the link has originally put us, and then it's up to our good friend John to verify that indeed this is what is supposed to happen. This is the correct data. This is the correct revision. This is blah blah blah. John may have a look here in the second part with the documents, where he could see some of the analysis results that Dirk Leroy at PCB Fab Limited decided was useful for John and has uploaded alongside the rest of the job data. Okay. And that's really it. Now, the funny thing or the nice thing about this is that currently I am logged on as John Doe, 5-Star Electronics. And guess what? I have a contact list of myself, which is currently empty because John, he is a contact to Dirk Leroy, but John has not registered any contacts himself. But if John would care to do so, add contacts himself here, he could actually be granting access to other people who he might want to have a look at this data. Maybe John Doe is not the original designer. Maybe John Doe is somebody in the EMS company in between, and the EMS company does want to share something with the original designer, and so on and so forth. So it's basically not unlike what you might know from OneDrive, where you have a similar system where you can have or grant access, where you can grant people access to data that is yours. Okay, right. I think this is more or less, no. This is not yet quite it. Now that we have created a contact, let's go to finish off this presentation. Let's go back one more time to my cockpit. I do sign out here. That's okay. I can close this mailbox. We close this one and leave, and here as well. Because now Dirk Leroy at PCB Fab Limited has created a contact. Something else has changed. You may remember from the first video that we were uploading data to the cloud service from here, from the to C8Inspect button. And guess what? At the time that I submitted this data set in my PCB manufacturing plant at PCB Fab Limited, I entered the company name, the contact name, and the email address of the person who sent this data to me. I entered it as part of the job submit procedure to Integr8tor. So that means if we cancel this one, and I would just do a modify job. Let's go modify job. You will see here that in the customer, there is 5-star electronics. As a customer, there is 5-star electronics. Sorry, the contact person that I entered at the time of job submit was John Doe, and the email address that I used was exactly this doe900-833@gmail.com. Now, if this information is in place for any of these job entries here, what will happen at the time that you do to C8 is that these 3 fields that we just saw are actually going to be used as filters. Filters to filter my complete list of contacts that are downloaded in real time from the C8Inspect cloud server. So when I open this menu and this little list fills up with contact names here, basically what happens is they are being collected in real time from the C8Inspect platform. And because after a while I may have, I don't know, a couple of hundreds of these contacts in this list, what this filter bit will do is give you a means to very quickly select just one name or just an email address or a part of an email address or the company name or any combination of these items, just to make the list of, let's say, 500 plus contacts that you might have gathered over time, just to bring them down to a list from which it's much easier to select the contact. Selecting the contact at that point would then happen just by ticking the boxes here. 1, if you have more, you can do 2, 3, 4, whatever, and then do the upload from here. Mind you, this job has already been uploaded. If I would upload again, that is absolutely possible, no problem at all. What would happen is the original data on the cloud server would be overwritten with the data that I upload in the second or the third or the fourth pass, whatever. Yeah. So this is just a very easy way to do an update of the data on the C8Inspect server. Right, I think that is really more or less it. I hope I have been able to talk you through at least the basics of this C8Inspect cloud service. All that is left to be done is now for you to go and discover it yourself and let us know what you find of it. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye for now. This was Dirk Leroy for UCAMCO in Ghent, Belgium.